is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Sun.
We welcome you on a beautiful Sunday afternoon at Tropicana Field for a Kids Sunday as the Tampa Bay Rays host the Oakland A's, final game of a 3-game series, and courtesy of those kids getting their plastic bats and balls as the Rays get ready to wrap up what is a quick homestand, as it turns out. Todd Callis alongside Orestes Estrada. As part of our Kids Sunday, we do like to give a little teaching tools to the kids as they get ready for their baseball or softball seasons. And today, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I tell you, what I have is Corey Dickerson, and there is a method to his madness because his swing is unorthodox, and there's a lot of drop back, and you got to be careful with it. But when we take this, I thought it was fantastic how well he dictates and explains how he gets to his power swing.
I think the power starts from the legs up. I think all baseball players are gifted with some kind of hand and eye coordination, but I really think it's from the bottom up, from the trunk, they say. And, when I get in my stance, I like a powerful stance, low to the ground, and I like the weight inside the knee. And, I really try to float whenever I hit. I try to float my knee back. I have sort of a leg kick, so when I don't really call it a leg kick, I call it a glide. I glide it back, but I keep all the weight on my back foot. And then when I go to land, I really think about having that stiff front side, because that stiff front side drives my hips. It really gives me the torque to get all my weight back to where it should be to able to deliver the bat head, and catch the ball out in front and get a lot of backspin on the ball. And, I really think that's what causes a lot of my power. So whenever I go in my low position, and I swing, I'm keeping my weight where I can basically do a lunge, to where I can, take off running. I use a lot of my hips. I use a lot of my lower half, and being able to drive that front leg back to be able to create that hip movement and that torque creates my power, and I catch the ball out in front, and that's basically what I do, guys.
Great explanation from Corey, who's batting fourth today, as to why that swing works for him. We're ready for baseball on a Sunday afternoon. First pitch in 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Sonny Gray against Matt Moore next.
Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By St. Luke's Cataract and Laser Institute. World-class care right in Tampa Bay. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Wrap-up game of the series at the Trop this afternoon. A right-hander and a left-hander go at it. Sonny Gray on the hill for the Athletics with a mark of 3-4. Matt Moore will do the pitching for the Rays, looking for his second win. Night, Matt Andrees dominated the A's at the Trop, tossing a 2-hit shutout, while Brad Miller provided the power with a 2-run blast as the Rays cruise to a 6-0 win. Today, the rubber match. Oakland sends the ace of the staff, Sonny Gray, to the mound, and the Rays counter with lefty Matt Moore. A lot of youngsters at the ballpark today. We welcome you to a Sunday afternoon of Rays baseball. The Rays and the Oakland Athletics concluding their 3-game series with Matt Moore headed to the mound, trying to give the Rays a series victory after dropping the first game of this series 6-3. Rays winners last night 6-0. Starting lineup for Oakland presented by your Southern Ford dealers. They'll have Coco Crisp, the veteran outfielder, leading off. He's in center field. Billy Burns will play right field this afternoon, followed by Danny Valencia, third. Chris Davis, the cleanup man. The DH is Billy Butler. Stephen Vogt, the former Ray, behind the plate, hitting sixth. Marcus Semien at short. Yonder Alonso at first. Tyler Ladendorf is the second baseman, batting ninth.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the Tampa Bay Rays is left-hander Matt Moore. And for Matt, making his 8th start of the season, trying to get back on track. His first 3 starts were stellar. The last 4, up and down. Just too many base runners. Too many base runners leads to too many runs and issues for Matt Moore. So getting back out there today, he's thinking about commanding the fastball around the zone. If he does that, everything should be fine. And this is the defense and how it lines up behind him, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, we have Dickerson, Kiermaier, and Geyer. Across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Miller, Pierce, and Morrison, with Hank Conger behind the plate.
All set to play ball. First pitch of this game from Matt Moore. is a called strike on an opening fastball to Coco Crisp. 0-2. A while since Moore has faced this Oakland club. He's 0-1 in 2 career starts, both here at the Trop, and that was in 2012. And he takes care of Crisp on 3 pitches, couple fastballs and a breaking ball.
Well, speaking of Crisp, how about that series and sequence by Matt Moore? He drops the hook down and in, gets it under the swing of Coco. Quick out number 1.
Here's Billy Burns. Hitting from the right side against the lefty Moore. Into left field. Dickerson back on the move, and he makes the catch. Dickerson cutting to his left and then back, a little down and out, and he caught up with it.
Well, glove side, Corey Dickerson getting some playing time out there in left field. Making a nice running catch there on a ball that was actually well hit by Burns.
Two gone with the bases empty for Danny Valencia, the third baseman. He had one of just 2 hits allowed by Matt Andriese in last night's game, and well, what a performance that was by the young right-hander. That's a strike call. Oakland with just 1 runner reaching second base last night, and that's 6-0 Rays victory.
Yeah, the thing that was so impressive about Matt Andriese last night, not only did he have command of 4 pitches and was efficient with them, but just the way that he commanded the mound himself. I mean, just in attack mode from pitch number 1, and never gave this Oakland offense a chance to get anything started.
Tap foul, 1-2. It's interesting and fun to watch. A pitcher from a year ago to the pitcher we've seen in the 2 outings since he's been back from Durham, and pitching as if he belongs here and needs to stay for a long while.
Yeah, well, he's absolutely sure about what he's doing right now and how his stuff feels, how it's coming out of his hand, and his ideas on sequencing, really.
It's just inside. 2-2.
It was very impressive the way that he was able to use the cutter to set up the fastball, use the fastball to set up the cutter, the ability to get outs on both of them, and then all of a sudden here comes the changeup, the curveball.
And near, oh, that one very close on the edge there, and the count is full. Long one to left. That full count pitch is driven out of here, deep out of here. And Oakland has a 1-0 lead.
Well, wasn't it the full count changeup off of Jake Odorizzi? Danny Valencia hit a long home run to left field. That was a full count changeup from Matt Moore. And really, it was in the same area. It stayed up. It didn't have a lot of bite to it. And Valencia was able to get all over it. See right there, that ball middle of the plate at the belt, a hanging full count changeup.
Valencia not only enjoyed hitting that one out, but he enjoyed the trot around the bases as well.
No real sense of urgency to get anywhere.
Chris Davis takes a pitch down. It's his 3rd home run of the year.
All in this series.
2 on Friday night, 1 today. It's a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, that's the danger of, especially early in the game before you have a real feel for everything in game situations, the full count changeup. Because you want to throw it for a strike, and that tendency to want to throw it for a strike leads to babying it from time to time. And when you baby it, well.
Morrison, after this one, just a step away from the stands, made the catch. A run home on the home run. Rays coming in to hit. Oakland jumps to a 1-0 lead. The Rays line up, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Brandon Guyer leads it off, followed by Brad Miller and Evan Longoria. Corey Dickerson in the cleanup spot. Steven Souza Jr., then Logan Morrison. Steve Pearce in second. Kevin Kiermaier in center. And Conger will bat ninth and catch.
Well, Sonny Gray taking the mound this afternoon for the Oakland A's, and same thing as we talked about with Matt Moore, trying to get back on track. First 4 starts were outstanding. The last 3 have been disastrous for Sonny.
First pitch is a strike to Guyer. Yeah, his bread and butter's everything down, and everything's been up lately from Gray.
Well, yeah, it's tough to pitch up. Up is one thing. You know, up above the top of the strike zone and above, we see the Rays do it a lot, the elevated fastballs. Up, when you're talking thigh to belt, those are the balls that get drilled.
Ball, 2 strikes.
His breakout, his first 4 starts, he was 3-1 with a 273 earned run average. Last 3, 0-3 with a 12.79. So it has been a drastic turnaround for Sonny Gray. And
there's a guy who was an all-star last year, had the 3rd best earned run average in the American League at 273. Foul ball, it's still 1-2.
You look at overall 2014 and 15, he was 28 and 17 with basically a 2.9.
Yep.
So he really has not dealt with a stretch like this ever.
No, he came up in 13, was 5-3 then, followed up with the 14 wins you mentioned in each of the last 2 years. So you're right, first time he's really dealt with sustained adversity in the major leagues. There's a high shot back into deep left. Davis back, it's gone. Home run for Brandon Guyer. Guyer's 3rd home run of the year, and it ties the game. Brandon Guyer continues to be amazing.
And watch where the pitch is. Breaking ball up middle. Brandon Guyer got a hanger. He did not disappoint, and what you'll watch for here is how does Sonny Gray react. It's one thing to go through that sustained, stretch of ineffectiveness, and then the first hitter of the following game goes yard.
Well, in that game against Boston, he had a lead, and it just fell apart for Gray. The count to Brad Miller, who fouls it out of play, and the count is 1-1. After giving up a run in the second inning of his start against Boston, he gave up 6 in the fourth. Brandon Guyer gets him on the leadoff home run in the bottom of the first today. It's 2-1. Brad Miller homered last night. Boy, when he gets a hold of it, and he has now 5 home runs for the year, all 400 feet or better. Pops it up back at third. Valencia is after it and makes the catch over his shoulder. And Miller fouls out.
Danny Valencia, I think, is feeling it here in the early going this afternoon. Little basket catch running away from third base. Over the shoulder. Right there below the belt. Must have had a real good breakfast.
Kind of easing into this game with a home run and that slow trot around the bases. And now that catch is Evan Longoria. A ball, no strikes. That's a strike. It's 1-1. Puts Evan down in the count. Fastball. This is the 6th start for Gray against the Rays. He's 2-1 against them. Look there at Corey Dickerson on deck. 2-1 in 5 prior starts against the Rays with a .281 earned run average. And a full count. Bounces one foul. Evan 3 of 14 in his career against him. Shot into left. Davis back, and that's going to be over his head. With one hop the wall. Longoria is on his way to second with a double.
Well, in a full count situation, a lot of times you're forced out over the plate. You want to throw a strike, no early walks. He goes to the fastball, and again, look where it's at. This has been the issue with Sonny Gray. He cannot get those balls consistently down to the knees. That's out over the plate. It's thigh high, and it gets blistered by Evan Longoria. That will continue to be the case until he readjusts.
It's the 3rd double of this series for Evan, and he has at least a double in each of his last 4 games, 12 on the year. And it gives Corey Dickerson an opportunity to break the tie.
And you see it right there, up and out of the zone. Sonny Gray rushing the delivery, and you have a tendency to do that when you're struggling, especially. Sometimes you can get out of whack, and then when the results start to show that you're out of whack, now you feel like you need to do more, and you start jumping towards home plate. And if the body starts too soon, the arm never catches up, and everything hangs, and everything's up, and not up because you want it up. You know, that's different. You know, a pitch that's an elevated fastball on purpose is different from I'm trying to throw a strike quality down in the zone, and I just can't do it.
Yep, the reports we've gotten is with that rush, everything stays up.
Your arm just can't catch up. That's the thing. Everything is out of sync.
Big cut there. Dickerson fouls it back. 1-2.
It's like a hitter. If a hitter starts, you know, his stride, or you know, he's throwing a changeup, and you get that front side, they start drifting towards the mound, and their hands are starting too early. You know, everything's out of sync. It's the same thing with pitching. If the body starts too soon, those arms are going to drag. It's not going to get to the proper release point. You're not going to be able to drive the ball downhill, and really there won't be any life on the pitch. The velocity may be there, the life will not be.
Tapper foul.
You know, if I'm the Rays hitters, I'm probably taking the approach off Sonny Gray like you do off R.A. Dickey. You see the ball down in the zone because he's not been able to consistently throw it down there. Let that go. Try to force him up in the zone where he's been getting hurt. They've been able to do that a couple of times already. Until he proves to you he can consistently pitch around the knees, why let him off the hook by swinging down there early? Unless you know, you're a guy like Corey Dickerson, you like the ball down and out over the plate, then go right ahead. But if you prefer that ball up around the thighs, wait him out. See if he can get the ball down there.
Dickerson fouls off another one. Off speed. So he's extended this at bat with a count of 1-2. Stephen Vogt will go out and have a conversation with Gray. This is the 8th start for Gray, and Vogt has caught a couple of them. Fegley's caught the other starts for Gray. He's had some knee issues. Liner into left. It's going to be caught by Davis. Back to second goes the throw, and Longoria's back in there.
Why don't we go ahead and set the defense for Oakland while we have a minute here. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. This is the way that it's going to line up. Left to right in the outfield, Chris Davis, Coco Crisp, and Billy Burns. Across the infield, third to first, Danny Valencia, Marcus Semien, Tyler Ladendorf, and Yonder Alonso with Stephen Vogt behind the plate.
1-1 tie. The home run by Valencia for Oakland. Leadoff home run for Brandon Guyer for the Rays. First leadoff home run the Rays have had since October 3rd last year, when John Jaso led off with one against Texas. It's a strike to Steven Souza Jr. Souza getting his first look at Sonny Gray. Oh, it bats against him prior to this time in there. 1-1, blocked by a Vogt. Gray led this club last year in wins and earned run average and strikeouts. And he has Souza reaching on that one. He pops him up. Alonso down at first takes care of that. Ray's going to run on the home run by Brandon Guyer. They lead Longoria, and at the end of an inning. This game is tied. Oakland 1 and the Rays 1. Off home run, his third home run of the year, tying this game, and we go down to the second inning at 1-1 with Billy Butler, the designated hitter, about to step in. Butler, originally from Orange Park, Florida. And the first pitch to him is a strike call. It's a 1-1 count. Butler hit .251 a year ago with 15 home runs. And actually hit for a better average against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching a year ago. He only hit 200 against lefties. In there against Matt Moore in this game. Matt misses upstairs with the fastball.
And when you think about it, even the setup of Billy Butler, and you know, he's strictly a hitter now. There's no position outside of DH. Up on top of the plate, he should destroy lefties.
This one in the hole, stopped by Miller, but no chance. A few feet into the outfield for that one. He stopped it, but could not find the handle, and Butler has a base hit.
Well, and he may have had a chance. It may have been a small chance, but with Billy Butler running, the fact that you're able to get this ball into your glove, you've got a fighting chance. But right there, it's an all or nothing, do or die type of play.
Yeah, once he had trouble finding the handle, you could forget about it. And you're right, Butler not the fleetest guy going down the line. And he's going to get a base hit out of that. And here's Stephen Vogt. He looks at a strike. Coming off an 18 home run season last year, Vogt has 3 this year. Hank Conger catching back-to-back games, caught last night. there for the Matt and Reese gym. Two balls and a strike.
Well, you're going for the series win. You ride the hot hand, Hank Conger, and we heard Matt Andriese talk about it after his start last night, giving him a lot of credit for what he did back there behind the plate, how they worked well together. That's important.
Fly ball lifted into left. Since Dickerson to his left, keeping his eye on that one. Well, Matt Andriese, a big night last night. The timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. 5 strikeouts. Hit a man, gave up 2 hits, and as it turned out, a double play ball. He raced Valencia when he singled in the 7th. So he faced only 29 hitters with that 2-hit shutout.
And I love the fact that he did it on only 5 strikeouts. 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, a lot of weak contact, a lot of balls, you know, the cutter working its way in on people, off the end of the bat, some soft fly balls. He was absolutely masterful and in control. His offense gave him enough runs. He made them hold up. They added on late. That allowed him to continue to go out there. And not too many times you go out and throw a 2-hit shutout. Not in the big leagues anyway.
Upstairs to Marcus Semien. Moore behind him, 2-0. Semien hit a home run in the game Friday night out of the 9th spot, where he has given this team some kind of pop, hitting 9 home runs. 3-0 right now the count. Hit a fastball out in the 4th inning here Friday off Jay Odorizzi.
No, that's his game. I mean, he sits down there quietly towards the bottom of the order. Has popped out a number of home runs this year. Not much on the average side, but he lets it fly.
And he's swinging 3-0. Hits a high pop foul that carries out of play. This went into the stands and then back out over the top of the dugout.
Yeah, it's not too often that you take, you know, a guy like Marcus Semien who's hitting .212 and give him the green light in a 3-0 count, except for the fact that he's got 9 home runs.
And there's ball 4 low. So a base hit, an infield hit as it turns out. And that ball that actually trickled into the outfield off Butler's bat. Now a 1-out walk. So 2 men on with 1 out. Yonder Alonso, left-handed hitters due up. And how about this? The lefty-righty breakdown for Matt Moore.
Yeah, well, listen, Matt Moore, for the most part, is going to face your better left-handed hitters. And, you know, they go up there. He's not going to throw the changeup a ton to lefties. It's going to be the fastball and the curveball. So you look for that first 4-seamer out over the plate and go to work. The one thing he has working for him in this matchup is Yonder Alonso hitting .077 against lefties, just 1 out of 13.
Well, that pitch close, but he missed with the fastball. Alonso had a 3-hit night Friday. 2-0. Matt threw the ball, as we've chronicled, very well in the spring. Came out throwing the ball pretty well and has had issues with his command and consistency the last few times.
You remember the first 3 starts, even the last 4 from last year, how he really commanded the strike zone with the fastball. Not just that he was throwing strikes, but where he wanted them type of strikes. And that has been elusive here the last 4+ times out. That leads to a lot of bad counts. Bad counts lead to better swings, and you can take it from there.
Well, it's a battle when you're working from behind most of the time, and that's where he has found himself a lot of the time. 2-1 right now.
When you're missing, instead of working from the plate and out, when you're working ahead. When you're behind, you're working from out to in, and now you're really, like right here in a 3-1 count, you need to strike. You can't be shooting for the corner. That's not your game. You need a strike here, and in a 3-1 count, it's got to be out over the plate. It becomes very dangerous to do that too many times.
High fly ball toward the right field corner, and that ball deflects off the B ring, is caught by Pierce. How about that? That was a towering fly ball in the direction of the right field line back toward the corner and deflected off the B ring, which means it's still in play. And Pierce out there not only to make a catch on it, but then trying to make a play on Simeon over at first base.
This is Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball. And it's funny because way up there on the B ring, well, there you go. There you go, right there. But on that B ring, they actually have the pole, the fair pole, foul pole, if you want to call it, the marking on where is fair or foul on that ring.
Here's Ladendorf. Swinging and missing, strike one.
You got it right there. And it hit right over in here. And Steve Pierce stayed right with it, made a nice play.
Two men on, 2 men out, 2 strikes the count. Always amazes me when infielders can do that. Omar Vizquel made a play here years ago in left field, going out from short on a ball similar to that, and it's just amazing.
Yeah,
that you can recover in time to make a catch, a clean catch. Pierce did that, and then was looking at first for a potential double play. Swing and a miss. Ladendorf missed the fastball up. 2 men left. We're going to the bottom of the second. This game tied 1-1. Rays Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Tradewinds, the official beach resort of the Tampa Bay Rays. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Rays and the A's wrapping up their series. Logan Morrison leads off against Sonny Gray. Breaking ball. First pitch curve in there for a strike to Logan Morrison. Gray made 26 pitches in the first inning, and really his stock and trade is efficient innings. Last year averaged under 15 pitches per inning. 26 in the first here. Right back to the mound, grabbed by Gray, and the toss to Alonso retires Morrison.
Well, you can understand that pitch count going north if you're rushing towards the plate, leaving pitches up in the zone. That's going to lead to deeper counts, more base runners, harder work. And that's what Sonny Gray has been faced with. And we'll see if he can iron things out here after giving up that leadoff home run to Brandon Guyer and that shot by Longoria. Even that right there by Morrison, the ball was up out over the plate, hit hard, but he was able to glove it.
So Steve Pearce. Pearce started at second base last night in the absence of Logan Forsythe, who's on the disabled list. Pearce figures to see quite a bit of playing time there at second with Logan on the sideline. 2-0 the count to Pearce. Made a couple of heads-up plays last night, one already in this one. On Alonso's pop fly that hit the B ring, and Pearce caught it for the out. He's ahead 3-0 on the count right now. And a walk on 4 pitches, way up with that one. Let's take a look at some of the handiwork turned in by Steve Pearce last night.
Now getting an opportunity out at second base with Logan Forsythe down with the injury, and he didn't disappoint last night. Nice diving play right there. Heads up to get the double play. That ball was hit hard, range to his left, spin and throw. Like he lives out there at second base.
I mean, it's great to have a guy. You certainly hate to lose Forsythe. As we mentioned, he's been arguably the best player on the team. But to have Pearce, and I mean, teams are going to lose good players from time to time for certain periods of time. And it's really nice to have a guy like Steve Pearce who can step in and do what he's capable of doing.
And I don't think that anybody had that in mind. I mean, you know he's capable, but you're thinking, okay, you're going to get some playing time at first base and DH, maybe some outfield, you know, if the guy needs a day off. You're not thinking too much about second base. Well, you're going to see him there a whole lot more and see that he's prepared and ready to handle the duties.
Well, he impressed the Rays as being that kind of player when they had to play against him when he was with the Orioles, and he's been that and more so far in a Rays uniform. 2 strikes the count to Kevin Kiermaier. And that's a strike on the inside corner, says Ryan Blakeney.
That was probably the best fastball that Sonny Gray has thrown here in this ball game. No, it's early, but well located on the inside corner. Just locked up Kevin Kiermaier. Drive it right to that inside corner. Nothing you can do about that.
Hank Conger. Conger 0 for 3. He walked his last time up last night. Ball, no strikes. Hank has 10 at bats in his career against Gray. He's 1 for 10 against him. There's a strike, curveball. Gray started this inning with a curveball strike to Logan Morrison. And throws another pretty good breaking ball right here to Conger. Just Just missed there. 2-1.
And not by much. That's one of those pitches where catcher's set up inside. Ryan Blakeney is set up inside. The ball ends up outside, probably a strike, but because the catcher has to reach to catch it, you don't get the call.
Pitch in. 2-1. And we've seen on a couple of those close pitches up on the corners, Blakeney has not given that one as a strike. Down in the zone on the corners, he has called that a strike. Now 3-1 to Conger. Runner on the move and a ground ball to the right side. Landor boots that ball. He had trouble with one here earlier in this series, and trouble on that one. That was the third out, staring him right in the face.
This whole Oakland A's team has trouble with the glove on the hand. 2 years in a row. Last year they were worst defensive team in baseball. Ladendorf, that ball right there, right near the lip. Maybe it came up on him a little bit higher than he anticipated, but there have been so many mistakes made by this defense, extending innings, more opportunities for the opposition, and leading the way once again.
28th error charge to Bob Melvin's team. Brandon Guyer, he swings and lifts a high shot back into deep left. Davis to the wall, out of here. Guyer turns around a first pitch fastball, a 3-run blast. Well, Brandon Guyer, who hit a curveball out in the first, hits a fastball out for a 3-run shot, and the Rays take the lead 4-1.
Boy, those are the repercussions. Errors to extend innings. You open yourself up to this possibility, and Brandon Guyer just enough. That was a towering shot. Wondered if it was going to have enough to sneak into the stands, and it did.
Brad Miller. One strike to count to Miller. Well, Geyer's now hit home runs on consecutive pitches. This one out of the reach of Gray. Ladendorf up with it. The throw to first in time. But not before the Rays put 3 on the board on the home run by Brandon Guyer. His first 2 home runs of the year off lefties, and then 2 home runs so far in this game off Sonny Gray. At the end of 2, it's 4-1 Tampa Bay.
Brandon Guyer has put the Rays ahead 4-1 as we start the third with Matt Moore delivering to Coco Chris. We have a very special guest with us right here. Grant Balfour pitched for both the A's and the Rays. Grant, first of all, congratulations on your retirement, and I guess the two little ones on your arms are a big part of that, huh?
Yeah, no, it's nice to come out here with the family and just follow the game now and, you know, watch some of the guys that you played with and just sit back and enjoy the game from a different perspective.
What are you guys? What's your name?
Reagan.
What's your name?
Riley.
Dad's home a lot more. How's the transition been from being a guy, a fiery competitor, to having time, a lot more family time?
No, it's awesome. You know, these two are the world to me. So, you know, to be home and spend more time with them now and just enjoying the family and friends and do some things that, you know, I haven't been able to do in the past. So, yeah, we're enjoying it very much.
How was it seeing your old mates down on the field today?
That was good. Those guys are great, you know. I really appreciate everything from both organizations, all the organizations that I played from. And to come out today and, you know, obviously spent a lot of time there with Oakland and the Rays. And for the Rays to have me out today and to do that through the first pitch and sort of put a closure on your career, it was awesome.
We're looking at some highlights from you in the 08 playoffs. What a season that was. You started with the Rays in 07, so you were here for that whole transition.
Yeah, you know, it was a lot of work. You know, we, like I said before, I came in. I think we were 33 games back that 07, and we just flipped it. You know, flipped the coin and went from you know, winning 70 games to winning 96 games and having that World Series bid and just awesome. You know, the whole city here, I think, just felt it. I remember the Mohawks. I mean, it got crazy, you know. So,
you were part.
Down.
Yeah, put them down. You're getting a good biceps workout here with those two. Coco Chris, ground ball base hit into right field. You were part of the AL East champions in 08 and 10 as well, the two AL East crowns for the Rays. Then you go to Oakland and you're back in the playoffs another 2 years with the A's. And what a ride that was with Oakland.
Yeah, it was. You know, they had, I think, gone through 5 or 6 years with it. Hadn't been to the playoffs. So, you know, the fans really wanted it. There were great fans out there, really got behind me. And, you know, just a great bunch of guys. Everybody over the coaching staff, players. We really got together as a team. And I think, you know, you don't look at teams sometimes with all the superstars, but just the way we did it, the fashion we did it, it just made it more rewarding.
Obviously, retirement treating you well as you saw your two beautiful girls there. What's the thing you missed the most, though, about being in the game?
You know, it's that competitiveness, that one-on-one matchup, you know. Nothing beats that to me, you know. That's that fire that's in you that you want to go out and compete. So I try to do other things to, you know, outside of baseball to challenge myself and compete and things like that. So it's that's probably the toughest thing, you know. That and being around the guys, obviously, you know, you have a lot of friendships, a lot of guys that you meet along the way, and yeah, that camaraderie between the players and the guys, you know, you miss that, but, you know, you got to move on sometime.
Billy Burns beats out a potential double play ground ball, and Grant threw out the ceremonial first pitch today to an old friend, huh?
Yeah, Curse is back there. I said to him, I can't remember if people go up on top of the mound or I do it from in front, but.
So you chose in front.
I'm like, hey, I think I'll have a tough enough time getting it from in front here, so I'll stay right here. I respect the pitches that are going out there today and stay off the mound, and yeah, just take the shorter route.
We know you call Tampa Bay home. We're glad to have you part of the community, Grant. We hope to see you around here a lot more. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Grant Balfour throwing out the first pitch here for this wrap-up game of the series between the Rays and the A's. And, of course, significant time with both these clubs in highly competitive situations. And a big part of what you see right there. And Valencia takes the ball away.
It is good to see Grant back here. And, you know, he talked about what he missed most was those individual matchups. You know what I mean? And by the reaction that you see from him, really enjoyed winning those individual matchups too.
Runner at first, Burns with one out.
I'll tell you, him pitching out of the bullpen, you talk about a role tailor-made for somebody. Because he was a guy, I mean, listen, he only got to go out there for an inning at a time. And so you got everything, all that pent-up aggression for couple of minutes. 3-4 hitters. Hopefully 3.
Burns beat out that attempted double play by the Rays with Chris forced at second. Valencia hit a 3-2 changeup out of here in the first inning. Swings through that one. The fastball up out of the zone.
A little bit tardy, and that's what Matt Moore will do when he elevates the fastball. This is only 92. The swing says 95, 96. That ball was almost in the glove before the bat got to the home plate.
Oakland had a couple of runners on in the second. Left them there. 1 on, 1 out in the third. And Matt Moore ahead in the count. He got him. Valencia out on strikes. Missed the fastball.
Well, he just powered it right by him. Another 4-seamer. 92 once again, and once again tardy and reaching and empty.
Chris Davis. Davis fouled out to Morrison at first. His first time up there. There's a lot of power. Hit a home run out to left in the first inning of Friday's game. Upstairs. Off speed, well out of the zone. The count is 2-0. One.
It will be very important for Matt Moore to maintain strike zone discipline and command. He's been handed a 3-run lead here. If the Oakland A's are going to do anything offensively, make him earn it. No unnecessary base runners. Attack, attack, attack.
That pitch. A fastball up, and it's now 3-1. Full count. This ball got the corner that time. At first, 2 away. Reaching a fly ball into right for Geyer. That's the third out. So a runner left on base. The Rays with the run in the first and 3 in the second, all courtesy of a home run in each inning by Brandon Geyer. 4-1. Rays on top from $2 kids days to $2 dogs, senior specials to student rush. The Rays have something for everyone each night of the week. Check out these great specials at raysbaseball.com/specials or call 888-FAN-RAYS now. Evan Longoria leading off the bottom of the third for the Rays. A ball, no strikes to count. Into the dirt, 2-0. Evan doubled in the first to give him 12 two-base hits for the year, facing Sonny Gray. Two and one. Corey Dickerson on deck, then Steven Souza Jr. And the miss a little bit wide. 3-1. Big cut there, 3-1. And after the fastball.
Well, that's where you can really turn it loose, and that's what Evan does. Fastball gets long, and you see that uppercut swing, and he's able to slide that baseball right over the top of that bat.
On the ground to short. Simeon makes that play. One away.
Well, I'll tell you what, the issues for Sonny Gray this year have been the fastballs elevated or balls elevated in the strike zone and not in a good way. This is Brandon Guyer, the breaking ball in the first, a hanger at the thigh. Then all of a sudden you come back, Evan Longoria right there, middle of the plate, thigh high, elevated, not in a good way. And same thing, Brandon Guyer once again, right at the belt. That one right there would cost him 3 runs, and that has been the issue. Too many pitches out over the heart of the plate, thigh high to belt high, that have not been missed by the opposition, and it's bit him here today.
Corey Dickerson, first pitch to him is a strike. Shortstop Simeon, and the throw, the stretch at first, 2 gone.
I'll tell you what, every play out in that infield, you're waiting for something to happen. They don't ever look clean, crisp, and just run-of-the-mill routine plays. This ball right here getting in on Simeon, bouncing around, but then even the throw starts to die and fade. Nothing routine.
Steven Souza Jr. takes it inside. One and one. That's a ball wide, and it's 2-1.
See, even the throwback from the catcher, Dwayne, is not routine.
That's not certain.
Man, this has been a brutal road trip for the Oakland A's.
2-2. Boston unleashed the offensive fury against his pitching staff. They had a 4-game streak, allowing 11+ runs per game on this road trip. Out of play, and the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lost 10 of their last 12.
And really, it's been the pitching staff that has let them down. Outside of last night's shutout by Andriese, the offense has been okay.
A full count.
The starting pitching has been, well, they've been very bad. That's put a tremendous strain on the bullpen. They've started to crack just a little bit. Tough to win.
Yeah, outside of Hill, who is 5-3, I think the starting rotation's 1-9. Souza draws the walk. They got Sonny Gray with 3 wins, and Hill, who came into this series with 4, and he won the first game. So those 2 guys have given them some wins, but the rest of the rotation has not. And Gray, good in his first 3 starts and not so good in the last 3. Actually, the first 4 starts for Gray, he was 3-1.
Well, that's something that really has led the way from Oakland. You know, when you think about the Oakland A's, you think about a tremendous pitching staff, you know, a bullpen that can shut you down and hope to score enough runs. Play in, you know, the Oakland Coliseum, which is a park that's going to favor pitchers, and usually their pitchers pitch well enough to travel well. That has not been the case this year.
The pop fly, short right. Ladendorf out there makes the catch. We're through 3. The Rays lead this game 4-1. On to the 4th inning we go. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, the Orioles in the 7-game win streak. The Cubs running away from everybody with a plus 110 run differential. And the Tigers, who the Rays will see on this upcoming road trip, dropping 11 of their last 12. And they're running 4th in the Central Division. Billy Butler leads off. Hits it on the ground to Longoria. Evans throw to first. 1 pitch and 1 out. How about that run differential from the Cubs when you put it in historical context? How about that? Since 1900, The 1902 Pirates at this point had a 127. 1912 Giants and the 1905 Giants, the only 3 teams better. And then the Cubs this year.
It's the middle of May. I mean, that's just winning consistently in laughers.
Cubs start the day 27-8. 9 games up over the Pirates and the Cardinals.
And see, I would have thought that in 1902, 127 runs would be the number that you scored for the season, with the soft ball that they played with and the 2 pitches, the fast and the drop. Man, that team must have been pretty good.
1-1. Yeah, home run's not a big part of the game back then.
I'd love to poke the bear. Just all the baseball historians get all wound up, angry.
1-2. Well, at least there was no reference to the rolled up sock.
That's right. That hasn't come out in a while. No. It's probably because that's how I played in the house.
Yep.
Small house. So I had to roll up a sock.
Tapper back toward the mound and more. Right there, underhanded to first. Vogt is retired.
You know what else we used to play with? You remember when you would go to games as a kid and you'd go to bat giveaway, but it was the little that was like perfect for a kid.
Yeah.
Tinfoil balls.
Oh yeah.
Roll up tinfoil. Yep. Oh yeah. All the time.
Things were flying all over the house.
That's right. That's right.
Went from the living room into the kitchen.
That's probably why I was never much of a hitter. Once I get into the higher levels. Really? You
bat wasn't big enough.
Tinfoil balls and giveaway bats. Gee, I wonder why you're not any good.
Marcus Semien. And he looks at a first pitch strike. Couple of quick outs here in the 4th for Moore. Oh, 2. Matt making his 8th start. 3 coming in. Going to win over the White Sox. And has dropped 3 decisions since then. It's a ball and 2 strikes. You know, the White Sox are 5 games up in the Central, and it seems that no matter what they do, they're going to be overshadowed in that market by the Cubs. The White Sox are 24-13, 5 up on Cleveland.
Well, I'll tell you this too. You're right about that. I mean, not only, the Chicago Cubs have become the national, story with their history and their start in that town, no doubt. And that AL Central.
This would buy Moore, and that's going to be an infield hit. Miller tried to scoop, and Semien is aboard.
Boy, that was strange. Once it got by Matt Moore, you're thinking, okay, Brad Miller can make a play on this, but that ball looked like either it bounced or just rolled funny. It kind of almost just slid right by his glove. This is a slow roller. He's going to have a good beat on it. Did he come over the top of it or was on the side? It's a great shot here. Just right off the edge of the glove.
Ready to make a play, but left something behind.
Sometimes
so it's an infield hit.
Well, sometimes, Dwayne, you can be influenced by watching others.
Well, there is that. You're known by the company you keep. Alonso fouls it out of play. Strike 1. Well, we've seen teams do that. We've seen the Rays absolutely do that from time to time. Something managers try to prevent. You'll play up to the opposition.
Right.
Sometimes you play down. You have a really good team and you go play a club that's not in the race, and all of a sudden you're playing like, a pickoff at first base. Semien trying to get back. They put the tag on him. The call was made. Then the ball popped loose. And they're having a little discussion over there at first base about that.
Once the ball got left behind, oh, he was going too. That's what got him. There's the tag. Calls him out, and then the ball falls out of the edge of the glove. Boy, it looked like when the tag was made right there, the ball starts to come loose. But it's still in there, still in there, still in there. You can see it. And he's out. He's in there long enough. Both feet were in.
So the pickoff of Semien at first. We're going to head into the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Rays hold this 4-1 lead. The Republic Bank Draft Room, exclusively for Rays season ticket holders. Blends hospitality and comfort while offering local craft beers and themed signature food items. Tropicana Field's newest destination area, exclusively for Rays season ticket holders, is the Republic Bank Draft Room. Call 888-FAN-RAYS for information. Well, a pickoff ends the top of the 4th. And the Rays will send Steve Pearce against the right-hander Sonny Gray. Pearce fouling the first pitch away for a strike. Gray with 60 pitches through the first 3. It'll be Pearce, Kiermaier, and Conger due up for the Rays. Pearce walked on 4 pitches in the 2nd inning and rode home on Geyer's 3-run home run. Two strikes. I know you're just itching over there, aren't you? You can't wait.
Dwayne, we have numbers in front of us that defy logic. On the 1902 Pirates.
Yes. That great team that we just referenced.
Yeah.
The Cubs in that company now, apparently.
Right. Run differential. In fact, theirs was even more. That's how dominant they were. So dominant that in a 142 game season.
Yep.
They used 7 pitchers. A couple other guys, one of them being Honus Wagner.
Yeah, he
got a couple.
He pitched in a game.
Got
5 in the 3rd innings.
Yeah, they had 142 games, or sorry, 141 games started. So obviously didn't missed out on a game there. Somebody was released, probably because he didn't complete it.
Well, the ball in the dirt on a swing and a miss, and the ball rolls to the backstop. And Pearce reaches, and Vogt is injured on that pitch. It'll be a strikeout and a wild pitch, and you see he's got that left thumb taped, and I think it deflected off that. And the Rays get a base runner on the strikeout and a wild pitch.
Below the zone. Oh, you're right. He flipped the glove over. That hand became exposed right up and off of it. And off goes Steve Pearce. Nothing going right for the Oakland franchise.
But if you're a catcher and you already have a thumb that's an issue, that's not fun at all.
Glove hand.
Yep.
You think about the strength in that hand to be able to frame pitches, mid-90s, upper 90s. You see the ball going off right there, and you see that pad that's on it completely exposed as he flipped the glove over. And the expression on the face says it all.
Yeah, and there's not showing a lot of flexibility. Well, they had an error in the second inning that extended the inning. And on the very next pitch, Brandon Guyer hit one out. Now a strikeout and a wild pitch to open the fourth. Stephen Vogt giving a little test there to see how it feels. Well, he'll stay in the game. It's not feeling all that great right now, but he's going to stay in there.
But for the most part, these catchers, they're used to getting nicked, beat up, and it takes an awful lot to get them to come out of a ball game. But anyway, just to wrap up those numbers, there were 131 complete games thrown.
This one, men were men.
Yeah.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier.
What does that say about the guys now then?
Well, I'm just saying that.
I know. That's
you start something, you finish it.
Different.
In 1901.
And if you look at the individual, 33 starts, 31 CGs.
Yeah.
30 starts, 29 CGs.
Yeah. Manager afraid to come and take them out.
That may be true.
And the hot shot up the right field line by Kiermaier. Down beyond the bullpen. Pierce will stop at third on the double by Kiermaier, and the Rays have been set up at second and third.
Think about right now how much panic in Steve Pierce on that shot. Kiermaier rips one up the line, and it's going to go for extra bases, and you know the way he gets out of the box. Pierce had to be like, are you kidding me? I got to go right now. That ball yanked. He's able to squeeze it between Alonso and first base. And then it's off to the races.
Well, there's a great opportunity now for the Rays. Kiermaier's 8th double of the year.
How about right there? He turns to look and see where Pierce is.
Now Hank Conger with the infield pulled up. Conger reached on the error in the second inning and scored on Guyer's home run. Two-men in scoring position with no outs. One of the things the Rays liked about Conger, who's a switch hitter, was his offense from the left side. And they'd love to see him duplicate some of what he did in Houston a year ago from the left side. Pops it up this time. Simeon out there to make the catch, and the runner still at second and third.
Well, Sonny Gray, Dwayne, that's what you're talking about when he was called up in 13, went 5-3 with a 267, and then 14 and 15, 14 and 10, 14 and 7. The ERAs threw over 200 innings in both of those seasons. Got off to a great start this year, 3-1 with a 273. And then for the first time, at least in his major league career, he is dealing with a tremendous amount of adversity, and today's not going much better.
Multiple home run game for Brandon Guyer, his first of his career. And he takes a pitch inside. He homered off a curveball in the first, hit the first pitch he saw in the second, a fastball out. So 4 home runs for the year, first 2 off lefties, and then connecting off the right-hander Gray in this game. Lifts it into right. Burns coming in to make the catch. Tag at third. Pierce is going to head to the plate, and he is safe. He got his hand in there, and over to third goes Kiermaier. Sacrifice fly gives Brandon Guyer his 5th run batted into the day.
Well, and how about the Rays' fortune there with the defensive alignment? You know, Josh Reddick, better arm, not out there today. Billy Burns gets the throw to Vogt. Look at the slide by Pierce, and he absolutely snuck that left hand in to the corner of the bag. Make yourself small and try to sneak the hand in. Exactly what Steve Pierce did. That's a tremendous slide.
So the Rays take advantage of the lack of arm strength in the Oakland outfield. And some heads up base running by Steve Pierce to pick up their 5th run. Ball, no strikes, the count on Brad Miller. Miller pops it up, left side foul. It's on play. It's a 1-1 count. Well, we mentioned that Miller's hit some long home runs, 5 home runs. And we'll look at the average distance of his home runs. 421 feet.
That proves what we were talking about last night, that when he catches one clean, it's loud.
You know, they've all been over 400 feet, his home runs.
Average of 421. No cheapies.
Oh, a ball and 2 strikes. Runner down at third. See Vogt to keep that ball within his reach. When the Rays had Stephen Vogt, a lot of people liked him here, and he is a catcher who has gained a reputation in Oakland of really caring about that pitching staff, and what's happened recently has not set well with him.
No, I mean, he's got the leadership skills, the way he carries himself, the way that he, you know, demands accountability from himself and his teammates.
Into the dirt, and he blocks another one.
Sets a great example. You know, I don't feel real great today. You know, here his thumb's hanging on by a thread, and he's out there catching pitch after pitch, taking his at-bats. Set the example.
Side fastball runs the count full. Rays have a run home in this inning when Pierce struck out but reached on a wild pitch and scored on a sacrifice fly. And strike 3 called. He got the breaking ball in there. Rays going to run through 4. It's 5-1. Summer, some of the biggest names in soccer coverage on the United States for the 100th anniversary of one of the world's biggest tournaments. Coverage of the Copa America Centenario begins June 3rd across the networks of Fox Sports. Rays with a run in the first, 3 runs in the second, another run in the fourth. Oakland with a run in the first. It's 5-1, and we open the 5th inning. And Moore's first pitch is a strike to Yonder Alonso. He was at the plate and Semien was picked off to end the top of the 4th. Alonso, Ladendorf, and Crisp due up. Ground ball, and that's going to be through the left side. Miller was shaded toward the middle. Longoria well off the bag, and Alonso found the hole between the two.
Well, there you see where Brad Miller is, and sometimes the shift does get beat, and does right here. They call that a strong shade, but regardless, Alonso finds a hole on the left side, and the leadoff man is aboard.
Well, it's the 3rd time in 5 innings the A's have put the leadoff hitter on. Here's Tyler Ladendorf. Moore struck him out the first time and throws him first pitch strike. Chopper by the mound, charged by Miller. He'll go to first, out there. Up to second base goes Alonso.
And that's a nice play and a good decision by Brad Miller, considering the score here. Don't try to get greedy and go for the lead runner. It would have been a tough play, may not have gotten him, and led to 2 base runners with nobody out. Take that sure out right here. You see him right there. There's that. He didn't even look.
Top of the order, Coco Crisp. Upstairs. Crisp was struck out. Had a base hit his last time. A struggle for Crisp to stay healthy last year in 44 games. 175. Now 36 years old. 1-2. Crisp in the last year of a 5-year deal with Oakland. He's way up with the Indians in Boston, Kansas City, and Oakland. It's 2-2. Starting his 3rd time through the order. A little over 70 pitches, and the base hit into right, backhanded out there by Geyer to cut it off. Alonso scores. It's 5-2. So that leadoff single coming back to hurt Moore as Oakland turns that into a run.
And Coco Crisp that can run a little bit. A nice job by Brandon Geyer out there in right field to get to that ball and cut it off and get it in and keep Coco at first base. You hate to see the base hit. You'd hate it even more if he was in scoring position.
Switch hitting outfielder Billy Burns. 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice in the third. Foul out of play. Oakland scored in the first inning on the Valencia home run. And they picked up another run in the fifth. Valencia is the on-deck man. Rays with a run in the first, 3 in the second, another run in the fourth. Ground ball third. Longoria, it appears. Oh, he's going to go to first. And Burns is out there, and up to second base goes Crisp.
I don't know if Evan realized that Coco was at first, because he fielded that ball with zero intent to go to second base when he absolutely could have. And then after the throw to first, he peeked over, saw Coco at second, and just kind of hung his head.
Yeah, watch Pierce go to the bag.
Plenty of time. And now watch it. You see, there's not even a thought.
Yeah, that's one of the few times you'll ever see that.
No, no doubt about it. And when he did realize that Coco was at second, you could see him just hang his head like, what was I thinking?
Two outs. Danny Valencia at the plate with Crisp now at second. Well, you just automatically look for that play at second base, and Pierce was right there.
Watch his reaction. That was even afterwards. I mean, he literally turned to second, and the head just went straight down like, no way.
Valencia fouls a fastball back. It only proves that everybody's human.
And he is pulling for Matt Moore right now more than anybody in this building.
Well, there are times when fielders pick up pitchers and pitchers pick up fielders. Oh, and a long one to left. That one is going to get out of here. Valencia on an 0-2 pitch hits it out. His second home run of the game. And just like that, Oakland's right back in this thing. A 3-run inning here in the fifth makes it a 5-4 ball game. The Rays lead down to 1.
Well, 0-2. They wanted it elevated. Matt Moore knew it as soon as the ball was hit. Didn't get it to its spot. And Valencia took full advantage. There's his reaction, and Evan beside himself.
Chris Davis lifts a fly ball into right. Geyer's there, makes the catch. That will retire the side. 3-run score. Bottom of the fifth coming, 5-4 Rays.
now as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning as part of Play Ball Weekend through Majestic Athletic and the Suncoast Credit Union along with the Rays. 8,000 leagues throughout the area. Over 10,000 t-shirts were given out to these leagues. Now here's the deal, guys. These t-shirts were given out with the Play Ball Weekend, which is an MLB initiative to get kids active, playing ball, playing baseball, playing softball. And these 10,000 t-shirts were given out to the 80 leagues. So now, as Evan Longoria hits one to left center field and deep, and this ball is gone. 6-4 Rays on the Longoria home run to lead off the bottom half of the 5th inning. So Longoria gives the Rays a 2-run lead on his 7th home run of the year. And once again, all these kids benefiting, so these leagues throughout the Tampa Bay area can now spend their money on improving fields and other areas. So we thank Majestic Athletic, Suncoast Credit Union, and the Tampa Bay Rays along with MLB for part of this Play Ball Weekend. 10,000 t-shirts given out to kids to help them play ball during the year, guys.
Well, quite a moment for Evan Longoria right there after the top of the 5th inning. And when that home run was struck by Valencia, you mentioned that glove went right on top of Evans' head. Well, it didn't take long on the first pitch in the bottom of the 5th. He unloads his 7th home run of the year, and the Rays are up by 2.
How about that? How about coming back there in a huge way? And I guarantee you, the type of guy he is, he still feels worse about not throwing that ball to second base than even hitting that home run. And not to say they would have even turned the double play, because remember, it's Billy Burns running who can fly. But this is what he does when given the opportunity immediately thereafter.
And again, a ball up and right out over the plate.
Cannot stay out of that area, and it just continues to bite him. Now, you see some stuff guys that will make mistakes out over the plate, and the pitches get fouled off, missed. Not with Sonny Gray, and not in the last few starts.
Ground ball, sharply hit. Ladendorf up with this one, and Dickerson is retired. First out in the 5th of the Rays have had 3 home runs, 2 by Geyer and 1 by Longoria. Oakland getting 2 home runs from their third baseman Danny Valencia. So it's a 6-4 ball game. Rays have 6 runs on 5 hits. All of their hits for extra bases. Steven Souza Jr., the 3 home runs and 2 doubles for the Rays today. 1 strike to count. Erasmo Ramirez, who had been up last inning briefly, is up again in the Rays bullpen. It's a line drive, and it's caught by the third baseman Valencia. 2 gone. Well, Souza Jr. making a bid to get it through the left side of the infield. Wanted to have it grabbed by the third baseman.
Well, the Rays need to stop challenging Valencia, because that's the 3rd hard hit line drive that he has kept from sneaking into left field in this series. A couple of them with the bases juiced.
Logan Morrison 0 for 2. Ball, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. Gray moving in on the mid-80s pitch count, or not quite to 80, and both bullpens busy at the moment. 2-1 to count on Logan Morrison. Ground ball, short right. Landorf is there for this one. It makes the catch. Rays are out in the 5th, but they get a run on the home run. First pitch of the inning, Evan Longoria belts it out. And at the end of 5, the Rays lead 6-4. The Rays up through the front 5. Evan Longoria giving the Rays another run with the home run at the bottom of the 5th, and Erasmo Ramirez will take over for Matt Moore now.
Well, Erasmo, listen, we've seen him start a game, pitching late in games, multiple innings. He's done a tremendous job, as the numbers would indicate. 1.57 earned run average in 28 2/3 innings, and holding those opponents to an under 200 average at 194.
Billy Butler will be the first man to face Erasmo Ramirez here in the 6th inning, and the pitch is a strike. 5 innings for Moore, 78 pitches, 4 runs, 7 hits, a couple of home runs with a walk and 3 strikeouts. No 2. Couple of quick strikes here on Butler. A ball, 2 strikes. Hot shot, but right at Morrison. Rays had the defensive set up perfectly.
Well, didn't take long for Evan. Ball up and out over the plate, drills it deep into left center field. There, a little acknowledgement from Matt Moore. It was that prior inning with the runner on first and a one-hopper from Billy Burns, and he took the out at first base, didn't realize for a split second that Coco Crisp was on first. You could see that in the reaction. And, of course, a home run was hit after that.
Steve Vogt into shallow center. Kiermaier is there. 2 gone.
See, Kiermaier has a double today, so there was no reason for the hop at the end right there. He has been busy.
Just a little skip after the throw back in.
I just like the fact that Steven Souza Jr. last night tried to pull off the hop. It was fantastic. Hey, listen, it's baseball. It's fun.
It's
right?
supposed to be fun.
Better be. Do it every day.
Yep. Marcus Semien. Semien has been on twice. An infield hit his last time. Then he was picked off. He walked in the second inning. One and one. It's a ball, 2 strikes. You know, you think about this Oakland club and the way they've struggled lately, and today's been a perfect example of not being able to get out of your own way. Semien picked off first. They made an error in the second inning, leading up to a home run, 3-run homer by Geyer. And a swing and a miss. Semien out on strikes. A 1-2-3 inning. Rays lead by 2. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Nissan, choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. 6-4 ball game. Rays lead. Coming in to hit in the bottom of the 6th inning, a 5 RBI day for Brandon Geyer. The other run coming on a home run by Evan Longoria. And here's Steve Pearce to lead off the bottom of the 6th. We're talking about the A's trying to get out of their own way. With the run the Rays scored in the 5th inning was Pearce when he struck out and reached on a wild pitch. And the Rays turned that into a run. 2 runs scored by Pearce. He walked with 1 out in the 2nd. And when the inning was extended on the error, he scored when Geyer hit the home run. A 1-1 count. Takes it to 1-2. Ray starting to push 90 pitches. pop to the right side. The first baseman, Alonso, out number 1 in the 6th.
Well, in a game like this has been one of the most unpredictable games of the season. Things happening you don't normally see. You've got to keep pushing if you're the Rays offense. Sonny Gray has not been exactly sharp. Still out there.
Yeah, and it's still a 2-run game.
That's right. I mean, you're right back to a bloop and a blast.
Kevin Kiermaier. Strike the count. Kevin doubled up the right field line in the 4th. And now down in the count, 0-2. Talking earlier about the starting pitching for Oakland and what it has been like for them, and more specific than our other conversation, they are 5-15 since 23rd of April, and in that time, if you take out Rich Hill, their starters are 1-13 with a 9.66 ERA.
How about that? That's
amazing.
80% of your rotation. That's the average.
Yep.
You don't win many games when your starters go out there and throw up a 9.7. Really. You know, and then not only do you put your team in a hole early, you don't pitch a lot of innings. I mean, no, especially in the last week. I mean, Rich Hill's really the only guy that's getting out of the 5th. And you put a tremendous burden on your bullpen. That becomes a revolving door. You're constantly playing from behind if you're the offense. So even though recently they've put up some decent numbers, nobody cares because you're still losing.
Yep, and because you're using the bullpen, you've got a revolving door between your AAA club and your bullpen. Kiermaier out on strikes on the pitch up. So 2 outs in the 6th inning. Support your favorite Rays player. Vote with the Esurance All-Star Game ballot at raysbaseball.com/vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day to get Evan Longoria, Logan Forsythe, Kevin Kiermaier, and the rest of the Rays to the All-Star Game. Vote early, vote often, vote Rays. Go to raysbaseball.com/vote now. Here's Hank Conger. Missing the first pitch. That's a strike. Well, the Rays have 6 runs, 5 hits, and 3 home runs off Sonny Gray. This not a typical start for Gray over the last 2+ years. He has struggled recently. Really at a place now where trying to keep his team in the game and at the same time trying to finish his stint with a good inning, just so he could make some good pitches and try to build on something. He's ahead of Conger 1-2.
Well, this is the type of at-bat that Sonny Gray wants to have with more consistency, working down in the zone early and then climb the ladder up above the zone for the swing and the miss late.
Ground ball headed toward the middle. This is Semien and a wide throw to first. And Conger is aboard.
I mean, you hate to keep beating the dead horse, but every ground ball in this infield, you're just waiting for something to happen. This ball hit hard by Hank Conger, but Semien is there to make the play. Then kind of trips, stumbles, and that throw well wide, and there's not anything on it.
And that's going to be it for Sonny Gray, who had the first 2 men retired, got the ground ball, but departs.
A's relievers will be getting some help sooner than later. Good news for Brad Boxberger. He made a rehab start a few hours ago in Charlotte for the Stone Crabs. I asked him earlier yesterday when he was still with the big club, how long has it been since he's pitched at 12:35? He couldn't even remember, but he went 1 inning, struck out 1, walked 1, gave up 1 hit, no runs. So a successful rehab start for Brad Boxberger, guys.
And we'll keep an eye on that progress. He's got a few more appearances to make down there to get himself to the point where he feels is ready. Now Ryan Dahl makes his 18th appearance. Brandon Guyer is the Rays hitter. He's had a great day. Dahl has the jump on him 0-2.
Well, the one area where Ryan hasn't been is inherited runners. He comes in with runners on base. They stay on base.
Up and in a bit. It's 1-2. Runner at first with 2 outs right now.
And this is his 15th inherited runner of the season. The previous 14 stayed out there. Most in the major leagues without allowing anybody to score. So he's done the job.
2-2 count.
Well, and there you go. Immediate backup.
He was in 13 games with Oakland last year, 1-2 with a .424 earned run average. And he gets Guyer looking, strikes him out. The Rays leave the runner. We're through 6. It's 6-4 Tampa Bay. Big day for the home run. Danny Valencia started it with a solo 2-out home run in the first inning. He also belted one off Matt Moore in the 5th. His 4th career multi-home run game, 2nd in this series. Brandon Guyer also has a multi-home run game. Breaking ball he hit out in the 1st inning. Hit a 3-run home run in the 2nd. That established a 4-1 lead for the Rays. Evan Longoria hit his 7th homer of the season to open the bottom of the 5th. That made it 6-4. That's where we are as we go to the 7th. Yonder Alonso, the number 8 hitter, the first baseman, takes a strike call from Erasmo Ramirez, who had a 1-2-3 6th, including a strikeout. One and one. Xavier Cedeno up in the bullpen. Back by the mound, hits the bag at second, picked up by Miller, and he makes the play. That had Quite a little travel plan by that ground ball that got by the Rays right-hander Ramirez and right over the bag at second. Watch this.
The very definition of stay with it.
So the ground out, one away. Chris Coghlan will hit for Ladendorf. Coghlan 0 for 3 last night. Lifts it into left. That will send Dickerson back still to the track, to the wall, and it carries out of here. An opposite field pinch hit home run for Coghlan. He lifted the fastball right out of here.
Now Oakland now 5 out of 15 at pinch hitting. The last 15 at bats. That one being probably the biggest one. This fastball away. That ball's off the plate. But look at the coverage of Coghlan. And I'll tell you, when you go opposite field here at Tropicana Field, you caught a ball flush.
So a solo home run with 1 out in the 7th. Coco Crisp. It's a strike. To the count. Well, a 1-run ball game suddenly. Two, 6 home runs hit in this contest. It's John Axford in the bullpen now for Oakland. Holds the count at 1-2. Matt Moore worked the first 5 innings. Ramirez starting his 2nd inning in relief. 1 out and 1 run in. All of that on the heels of Matt Andriese and his 2-hit shutout last night. Chris starts to go, and that pitch is a ball, says Ryan Blinkney. The shot to center field, pretty well tagged. Kiermaier plays it on 1 hop. It's a double for Crisp.
I'll tell you, when that ball left the bat, and you could see Kiermaier and Geyer heading out for that ball, you thought, uh-oh, that ball's not only going to get down, but with Coco Crisp from the left side, he's going to be on third base with less than 2. The hang time, how deep it was. Let's take a look at Coco coming out of the box, coming out hot. Kevin Kiermaier able to close ground and get that ball back in and keep him at second. That's a big play. Runner at third, less than 2 in a 1-run game, or, you know, obviously it's second base. That's huge.
Yeah, second base, a big enough challenge, but you put a guy at third, something else.
Well, right now, the way it stands, a base hit to score Crisp, a guy at third, less than 2, maybe just a ground ball, fly ball to the outfield.
So Crisp at second with his 6th double. after a visit from Jim Hickey. Ramirez to face Billy Burns. Coughlin a pinch hit home run. It's the first pinch hit home run the Oakland franchise has had since June of 2014. Burns out in front, strike one. John Jaso hit that one for them. Burns fouls it the other way. Two-strike count. Cedeno in the bullpen. Back to third. Longoria is after it, but will not have room.
Highest bidder. Highest bidder. He's offering candy and he gets it.
Yeah, there you go. Doing the right thing. Burns fouls another one out of play. A little side drama going on there.
How about that? You could see weighing all the offers. Little guy with the face paint wins out.
Two-strike pitch again. Burns stays alive. We saw him early in this series with that first at bat he had of the series against Odorizzi, and just how ridiculous he can be fouling pitches away. And that 14 pitch at bat ended it with a base hit, and the count's still 1-2. 0-2 right now. Crisp at second base in a one-run game. Popper third base side. Foul ball for Longoria. Two gone. Well, that's a big out. They have another big one to get in Danny Valencia, who has 2 home runs today, 2 for 3. That coming after he had 2 home runs Friday night. That's a strike. The 2 home runs off the Rays starter Matt Moore. Now facing Erasmo Ramirez. Into the dirt and over to third base goes Crisp.
Another reason that the Kiermaier play in center field looms so large.
Yeah, and we have seen from time to time recently from Ramirez a problem with pitches in the dirt.
Well, and specifically on the changeup, and Hank Conger cannot keep that one in front, able to sneak by the glove, bound out to the right side and far enough away that it allows a move up.
Now 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Valencia chops it foul. So the count out to 2-2. Run home on the pinch hit home run. Man at third, 2 outs, 2-2. Fastball is fouled back. First matchup between Valencia and Ramirez. And he gets him, strikes him out. Bottom fell out of the changeup. Valencia strikes out. Rays lead by 1, 6-5. We welcome you back to Tropicana Field, where we have a one-run ball game. Rays at one point led this game 5-1. It's now 6-5. Danny Valencia with a 2-home run day. Brandon Guyer with a 2-home run contest. Each team with 3 home runs to this point. There's Coughlin, who had a pinch hit home run in the top of the inning, will stay on here in the bottom of the 7th to play second. The Rays will have the top part of their order. Number 2 hitter Brad Miller to lead off, then Evan Longoria and Corey Dickerson. And at the moment, the difference in this game is the home run Longoria hit in the 5th. Both starting pitchers still the pitchers of record. Brad Miller looking for his first hit of the day, 0 for 3. Facing Ryan Dahl. Pitch is down, 1 ball, no strikes. Strike at the knees. Sean Doolittle up in the bullpen. 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes. Gray for 5 2/3. Dull got the final out in the 6th. And strike 3 called. He gets Miller looking here to begin the bottom of the 7th.
That's what you call a pitcher's pitch. I mean, this borderline, maybe off the plate. It goes against Brad Miller. That is cutting right down. That is off the plate just a hair, but close enough that it gets called.
There's Evan Longoria. Slider in there for a strike. Evan 2 for 3, a double and a home run. Rays have an infield hit, a single, 2 doubles, and 3 home runs in this game.
Sounds about right.
6 runs, 6 hits. Ball, 2 strikes, another slider. Dull divided last year between AA and AAA. Two and 2 now. And then got into the handful of games we mentioned for Oakland in September. Just inside there. Full count. Rory fouling it into the screen. We mentioned Sean Doolittle up in the bullpen for Oakland, and Alex Colomé is throwing in the bullpen for the Rays. Colomé last worked Wednesday in that extra inning game in Seattle. So everything down and on both sides and off both sides of the plate here from Dull. Cutting the miss. Longoria is out on strikes, and he came back with the fastball. So 3 men face, 3 strikeouts. Tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers, and Drew Smiley will get the start. We'll hear from him, and BA will be breaking down the big right-handed bat of Josh Donaldson.
I am.
That's what they tell me.
All right. Get to work on some video on the flight up north.
Down to one knee goes Dickerson after that swing.
Am I breaking him down as a player? Am I breaking down his different hairstyles?
In any way, shape, or form you wish. Free reign. Infield.
Oh, boy. Well, then you better tune in.
With a glove, with a bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a hat.
Without.
It's 1-1. A little change up, and that's something you'll see occasionally from Dull. Big cut and a foul ball. Gave up 4 home runs with Oakland last year, and 3 of them to left-handed hitters. Dickerson always with that on his mind. And the Rays this year seemingly have that on their minds more than years past. 2-2.
Well, it proves itself out in the numbers too. And there's an awful lot of guys up and down the lineup that are capable of giving the Rays an instant run.
Dickerson keeps the at bat alive. Foul ball. Dickerson looking for his first hit of the day. He's gone through a 5 for 53 run here. And a cut and a miss. He's out on strikes. 4 strikeouts for Dahl. On to the 8th. 6-5 Rays. A 1-run ball game, and the Rays step into the bullpen again, and this time for Alex Colomé, who in save opportunities this year, right on 9 of 9.
Wow, I mean, look at the opponent's average and the strikeout to walk. You talk about answering the bell in a big way, and Alex Colomé may have the opportunity here for, well, a multi-inning.
2 innings for Ramirez, a couple of hits. Gave up a home run. And as Colomé enters the game, so does Desmond Jennings in left. So the Rays make a defensive adjustment. Chris Davis, the number 4 hitter for the A's, leads it off. Pitch from Colomé is upstairs. Davis, Butler, and Vogt due up. Shot back into center, cutting across and back a bit. Kiermaier, and he's right there for it. Davis hit it a long way to center field. Kiermaier covering a lot of ground out there.
Well, I'll tell you, that ball just missed the barrel. That was towards the end. You could hear the crack. It wasn't that deep sound, and so you knew that as well as that ball came off the bat, it was going to hang up there for Kiermaier. That ball, not quite. Chris Davis, enough power. Let's see where he gets it on the bat. It's close, but you see just off the end, not all the way to the end, but far enough off the barrel to cut down a little distance.
Josh Reddick not in the lineup today, but he'll pinch hit now for Billy Butler. So he will pinch hit for the designated hitter to get the lefty on righty matchup. A ball, no strikes. Ground ball. There's a pinch hit single into right. Geyer with the pickup, and Reddick is aboard.
Well, the A's pinch hitters getting the job done here today. They've been better as of late. Not easy to get a ground ball through the shift, but that's exactly what happens. Usually you got to hit that ball quite hard to find an opening, and Reddick did just that.
There's Stephen Vogt. Vogt 1 of 3 against Colomé in his career, and 0 of 3 on the day.
Stephen Vogt up there. We know that he has a dinged up thumb. Got hit earlier today. No batting gloves, no thumb guard, no nothing. Baseball bat, pine tar, glue stick. Let's go.
Yeah, the glue sticks for the thumb.
Maybe.
Whoa, way high and outside, 1-0. Moore, Ramirez, and Colomé for the Rays. Gray and Dull for Oakland. Now 2 balls, no strikes. Over to first and back in Reddick. Oakland led at one point 1-0. Rays tied it in the first, grabbed the lead in the second, and they've held the lead since then. A 1-run game in the 8th. Two-0 pitches in there, 2-1. Colomé pitched 2 innings in that 11-inning game Wednesday against Seattle. Gave up a hit, no runs, and had 3 strikeouts. He finds the zone there to even the count on Stephen Vogt, 2-2.
Well, always tough to come back from behind the count. You got to make a high quality pitch. Backdoor cutter.
One ball foul. There's Mike Aldretti out of the first base coaching box. Count holds at 2-2 on Vogt. One pitch caught the middle of the plate. Everything else away from Vogt. 2-2, he gets him. Strikes him out.
I'll tell you what, that pitch was filth. That stayed in the strike zone so long before making its final dive out of it that Vogt, boy, he thinks he's going to drill this thing. And all of a sudden, goodbye.
So that's a dangerous bat retired. And Marcus Semien, and we've seen some of his power already in this series. There's a walk and a base hit, an infield hit today. Struck out his last time. Reddick is the base runner.
And you're right, you still got to make pitches. Not much in the way of average, but he paces this team with 9 home runs.
Pitch upstairs. 1-0. The pitch up again. 2 balls and no strikes. Yonder Alonso on deck. Center of attention right now, Marcus Semien. Fouling it out of play. 2-1. The mid-90s fastball away from him. Semien hit a fastball out the other night. Two-1 into the dirt. What a pickup by Conger that time. That kept Reddick at first base.
I don't think there was any time for Hank Conger to be able to slide out traditionally to block this. So he ends up going with the backhand route and thankfully came up with it clean, or you'd have a runner in scoring position right now. And first baseman.
Pitch is down, so he walks him. That pushes Reddick up to second. A single and a walk in the inning. Alonso will be the hitter. And to the mound goes Jim Hickey.
Well, we've seen an awful lot of Yonder Alonso going to the left side. Base hit there earlier in this ball game. Seen him take some pitches away from him into left field, back up the middle. That seems to be the approach right now, and the most difficult approach to deal with.
Alonso had 3 hits in the game here Friday night. And you're right, he'll spray the ball around and use the left side.
And when a hitter's able to do that, you really have to move the ball around and command it to the areas you want it to. If you're going to stay away, well, he'll shoot you into left field.
Single today to open the 5th inning was into left center. First pitch is a fastball way up. 1-0. Reddick, the base runner, at second. Semien at first. A foul ball. 1-1. So Oakland putting up a threat. They have 5 runs, 10 hits. The Rays 6 runs and 6 hits. Axford, the right-hander. Doolittle, the lefty. Pitch fouled. 1-2. A ball, 2 strikes. He fouled off the fastball right there. Colomé ahead of him in the count. He got it. Struck him out. Foul tip strikeout. Oakland will leave 2. And the Rays will go into the bottom of the 8th, leading by 1 in a 6-5 game. And here's the big strikeout of Alonso.
Late action. Just got a piece, but Conger was able to hold on, and the Rays get out of that jam.
Leading 6-5, wrapping up this short 3-game homestand. Then the Rays head into Toronto. A couple of lefties open that series tomorrow night. Drew Smiley and Jay Happ. It'll be Archer and Stroman the middle game of that series. Odorizzi and R.A. Dickey will go at it Wednesday. We go to the bottom of the 8th at the Trop right now. Steven Souza Jr. leads it off against hard-throwing right-hander John Axford. And he, of course, throws a breaking ball, slow curve on the first pitch.
I was thinking the same thing. Set it up. Here comes that blazing heat or that.
Yep. A little curveball that missed, and it's 1-0. And a cut and a miss on the fastball. There it is, 97. Goes from 77 to 97.
I mean,
so cover that.
Yeah, in 2 pitches. We're not going to gradually get there. One to the other.
It's up. Well, Axford follows Dahl, who was sharp. An inning and a third, 4 strikeouts from the Oakland right-hander. And that's a strike. 2-2.
Never cease to not impress me.
Well, you looked at the pitchers that Oakland has run out there today. They had Gray and Dull, the first 2 pitchers. Sound like a description of a winter's day in Seattle.
Except when we're there.
Well, in the summer, it's beautiful. We had the best weather ever in that recently completed series out there. And I really think that in all the years that I've been going out there in the summer, I've had beautiful weather all the time. The winter is a different situation.
That's just a flip of Cleveland, Ohio.
And a cut and a miss. Souza's out on strikes.
Speaking of Gray and Dull, I got some photos this morning from some family members, from some friends back home, snowing.
Wow.
Video of snow in Cleveland on May the whatever it is, 15th.
Well, I just checked the weather this morning for Toronto. It was 39 up there when I got up this morning here. So it'll be a little cool.
Thankfully, indoors.
Yes. Yep. Logan Morrison now against Axford. A ball, no strikes. The last 6 outs recorded by Oakland pitchers have been via the strikeout. 1-1 to Morrison. The last out Gray got was a strikeout of Kiermaier, then gave up the infield hit to Conger. Dull came on, struck out all 4 men he faced. And now Axford has struck out Souza Jr. And he's ahead of Morrison, 1-2.
Well, boy, working downhill with 97, 98, 141 career saves.
And the chopper foul. Morrison drew 3 walks last night, was 0 for 1. For 3 today. Pops it toward the left field line. Davis still on the move and makes the catch. 2 outs. Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers. Todd and Orestes will anchor the coverage. He'll answer the call. Kevin Cash at his press conference. Rich Hollenberg will have interviews from the clubhouse. Here's Steve Pearce. Want to know the count. Pearce with a couple runs scored. Officially 0 for 2. He walked his first time. Reached on an error in the 4th. A wild pitch actually after striking out. 2-0 the count. It's a strike. 2-1. You know which date in baseball history most no-hitters have been thrown? May the 15th. That's today. 6 no-hitters have been thrown on this day, thanks to the research of Rick Odioso. We're now acquainted with that information. A shot into center will be caught by Crisp. Rays 3 up, 3 down. John Lester has a no-hitter through 6. Chicago and Pittsburgh scoreless. Been a home run day here at Tropicana Field. Through the first 8, the Rays lead 6-5. Brandon Geyers hit a couple for the Rays. Evan Longoria hit 1. Andy Valencia 2 for Oakland. Another home run, a pinch hit home run by Chris Coghlan. And we're headed into the 9th inning. The Rays will go to the bullpen again for the left-hander this time, Xavier Cedeno, to face Chris Coghlan. And then to the top side of the order, Coco Crisp and Billy Burns. Coghlan hits it on the ground to the right side. 1 pitch and a ground ball out. That's efficiency. Pierce throwing out Coghlan.
Well, especially for a guy who homered in his previous at-bat. 1 pitch, 1 out. That little cutter from Xavier Cedeno. Everything moving with him. Away from the lefties, in on the righties. Cutter curveball combo for the most part. 2 more to get.
Been a 3-hit day for Coco Crisp. Scored a run, drove in a run with a hit in the 5th. First pitch. That's a strike. One and one. Too high. Moore for 5, Ramirez for 2, Colomé for an inning, and now Cedeno. Ground ball. Miller with the scoop and the throw. Got him. Well, the Rays had the shift on for Crisp. And Miller, the shortstop, handled that.
Right into the teeth of it. Measuring his steps, making sure that ball is secure. And then fired across to Logan Morrison, out number 2.
Well, Billy Burns. Burns 0 for 4. Pesky up there, as we have come to learn over the last couple of years, and especially in this series. Takes a pitch down and in. That's a strike. Cedeno also last pitched Wednesday. 2/3 of an inning out of the bullpen in Seattle. Shot into the seats down the third base side. A 1-2 count. Cedeno trying to close it out. Colomé, the only guy out of that bullpen with any saves. And there's a base hit into left center field. Burns will head for second. The throw back in will not be in time. He's in standing. And so down to the last strike. Burns comes up with a 2-base hit. He's in scoring position. And the hitter will be Danny Valencia.
Well, that breaking ball just drops the head on it. Able to squirt that ball into left center field with enough on it. Look at that, perfectly placed in between Jennings and Kiermaier. And with his speed, listen, Kiermaier did everything that he could do to keep Billy Burns at first base, but it was not to be because of this speed.
Man at second base now with 2 outs and a pitching change coming for the Rays. 2 outs in the 9th inning. With a runner at second base, the Rays holding a 6-5 lead. And Geltz is on for the 14th time.
Looking to close this down. The Rays need one more out. It's going to be Geltz v. Valencia. 2 home runs today, 4 for the series. So if you're going to nail this down, you are definitely going to earn it. Valencia taking a changeup there out. He got a fastball that was misplaced for the 2nd home run. And 2 on Friday night. Game on.
So he goes up against the right-hander, Steve Geltz. Valencia 2 homers and 2 strikeouts on the day. And the pitch, a high shot deep into left center field, and that one is gone. First pitch fastball, and Valencia hits his 3rd home run of the day. And Oakland will take a 7-6 lead.
Well, Steve Geltz is so effective with the elevated heater, and this one not quite elevated enough. That stayed about thigh high, didn't get up around the letters, and that was a no-doubter.
A 5 home run series for Valencia. Davis fouls it. Strike 1. A career day for Valencia. 3 home runs. One and one. Last time the Rays, well, the last time Oakland had a 3 home run game, Josh Reddick, that was against Toronto, and today the Rays have been victimized by Danny Valencia. And strike 3 called on Davis. Damage done on the first pitch to Valencia. A 2-run home run, and we'll go into the bottom of the 9th inning now with Oakland leading 7-6. Today for Danny Valencia, a 5 RBI day, and the 2-run home run in the 9th gives Oakland a 7-6 lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. And Ryan Madsen becomes pitcher number 4. And here's Kevin Kiermaier on the ground to second, and on one pitch a ground ball out. Coco Crisp is now in left field. Burns over in center, and Reddick out there in right field. So with Reddick playing right field, the pitcher goes into the 4th spot. There's Casale pinch hitting and hitting it on the ground to 3rd. So 2 pitches and 2 ground ball outs as Casale hit for Conger. Well, 2 outs. Base is empty, and Brandon Geyer's due up. He's had a big day. 5 RBIs. Solo homer in the 1st, a 3-run homer in the 2nd, sacrifice fly in the 4th. And the Rays' last hope of the day rest with Brandon Geyer. And he takes the pitch for a strike.
I say match Valencia. Got the opportunity right here. You can use that.
It's popped up. Down from first. Alonso takes care of that, and the Rays have one slip away here in the 9th inning. It's a 7-6 final. On the home run, the 2-run blast by Danny Valencia. And Oakland takes this series 2-1. Axford will get the win. Geltz will take the loss. And Madsen will pick up the save in a 7-6 final. Oakland winning this one. Well, the Rays will now hit the road. They'll be headed to Toronto. We'll be with you tomorrow night with the opening game of that 3-game series. For Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers, comes your way next.